I retired in 2009, I thought of what would I give back to the society that had worked in the financial institutions for about 30-something years. And so I discussed with a couple of friends, a couple of senior colleagues, and the idea just struck me that I should do something on consumer protection and financial literacy. And it gave me a bit of a challenge trying to, register the NGO because of the word consumer protection and financial literacy, which was what the government was doing. So invariably by 2016, they got us to register Consumer Awareness and Financial Enlightenment Initiative. So that's how it started. I wanted to give back to the society.
I thought it was important what CAFEi stood to do. I've always felt there was a gap in the market for consumer awareness and protection. We're all consumers, so it's central to every single one of us. It's really important when you have the opportunity to really actually understand what your rights are as a consumer. And if you understand what your rights are and know where to go to demand those rights, a gap would have been filled. And I felt CAFEi stood to fill that gap, and I felt it was important to contribute to that.
The banking public, which I can refer to as the financial services public, both the beneficiaries and the providers, needs to know what ought to be done, what they should be doing in terms of financial education and financial literacy in Nigeria. And they should be fully educated because of the vibrancy and the dynamics of the business of banking and finance in general.
The more aware people are, and of course in the process they get to know their rights as well, the stronger they are in their resolve in demanding for what is rightly theirs, on the one hand, and then on the other hand, to also make the service provider be on their toes in terms of improving quality of service delivery. So ultimately, it turns to the benefit of the entire nation.
I looked through the ideals, what they're trying to do. I thought they were very noble, and it was something that was needed timelessly at this point in time, most especially the financial enlightenment. And they want to go about it in research, in advocacy, in enlightenment. I believe that now more than ever, all of us in Nigeria really need to be enlightened.
For CAFEi, we want to be an institution that has greatly impacted consumers' behavior and value in the Nigerian economy through bespoke financial education, literacy, and awareness. We intend to broaden financial services, consumer confidence, value, and protection through financial education. We want to be known as an organization that fights to ensure that consumers of goods and services get the right quality they paid for. CAFEi wants to be the most innovative preferred choice organization by consumers, service providers, and regulators on financial literacy and awareness. We want to see to a reduction of substandard goods that come into the country in collaboration with the authorities charged with that responsibility. And we want to rank amongst the most effective non-governmental financial literacy organization in Africa.
I think it's been very exciting because most of our meetings right now are at strategy level, strategy formulation. We're deciding the way forward, the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, what are the things we want to do, how do we want to measure our impact, how do we want to impact on Nigerians? How do you want to increase the level of financial awareness? How do you want to ensure that the rights of the customer and the consumer are not infringed upon? And the index of Nigeria, all the productivity and financial indices of Nigeria can only move up when you have financial enlightenment at a higher level.
Essentially, I would say that the meetings we have had thus far have been good quality meetings, because I serve on a couple of other boards, and I know what I'm saying here. Everybody is tightly focused on the vision of CAFEi, which means you don't see anyone coming there to either promote his or her personal agenda. It is strictly focused on Nigeria as a nation. Having seen that, that is an aspect of our life as Nigerians where there's a whole lot of gap. So the idea then is, how do we bridge this gap? And especially for the upcoming generation. Because part of the campaign also is take this from the level of pre-secondary school, which means ultimately you are in the common language catching them young, but at the same time you are building a generation that will impact Nigeria better.
We've identified a lot of the issues. I believe that we're at a stage now where we can actually come out formally to the public. We've done a few enlightenment programs, we've done a few enlightenment campaigns. I think we're poised to do a lot more. It's been interesting, and I think my time with them has demonstrated that there's just so much more to do. We've only started to scratch the surface. So there's so much more to do.
CAFEi has, under the leadership of the current president, had done and contributed a lot of things quietly, a lot of publicity on what people should know, women initiatives, a lot of publications have been done in the newspaper. Even the regulatory authorities have benefited from the meetings, from the ideas. A lot of lectures had taken place, powered by CAFEi, and a lot of thought-led activities prior to this period.
We've done a lot of speaking engagement. We've paid visits to Central Bank Consumer Protection Department, and that led us again to visit the Nigerian Education Research Development Council, NERDC, in Abuja. We've done a lot of publications in the media. We've done a bit of international engagement to the London Institute of Banking and Finance on their lessons in financial education. We are hoping to partner with them so that they can bring that to the country. And the most striking one was when we did an advocacy to the currency department of the central bank to try and mop up the tattered notes in circulation, and that yielded good results because central bank came up with they unveiled the CBN clean notes policy, as well as the banknote fitness guidelines, which I think is part of what we're able to achieve on advocacy level. The speaking engagement, we had a very interesting one with WOCOM, and there were about almost 5,000 women in that forum, and we're able to talk to them so that they stop keeping their money under their pillow. We're looking towards the regulatory impetus to ensure our reach out across Nigeria. This will encompass both financial support and endorsement of our proposal by the regulatory authorities. We need their branches across the country to participate and provide logistic support for our programs. We need our reports and recommendations from the field to be received with open arms to enhance policy directions for the country. We need other NGOs, non-governmental organizations, to collaborate with us so that Nigerians can get the quality of goods and services that they paid for. And for financial institutions, we need their strategic support on financial education.
Consumers need to know their rights. They need to know what they should be asking for. And services you do not know what it should be, you cannot be asking for it. And again, ethics and professionalism from the angle of my own organization, the Chartered Bankers of Nigeria, is going to be further entrenched with the initiative coming from CAFEi, because there will be consumer protection, there will be customer protection, nobody charges you excessively. I mean, these are some of the benefits that you see. So all of these people must come to support CAFEi.
It will be a formidable success story when we go ahead and we measure ourselves year on year, either in research, in advocacy, in enlightenment, in just ensuring that the customer is king. And the customer knowing I'm not king in name only, but I know my rights, I know what my products are about, I know what I'm buying is about. And if there are issues, if I'm being shortchanged, I have CAFEi who is there at my back, who is ensuring that everything is right and truly the customer is king.
The whole idea is in place to help a nation and its people advance beyond where we are. So, and I believe any corporate entity that has the good of Nigeria at heart should support this kind of vision. Just the same way some of us who are on the board bought into the vision. So I want to encourage everyone that gets to hear about this to please put the resources, technical, financial, and otherwise, to make this vision thrive for the betterment of Nigeria.
I think at every single point in time, insofar as you're a consumer, the matters we are discussing here, the matters and the issues that CAFEi seek to speak to and in the space they choose to intervene in will be relevant to you. It will matter to you. So to that end, we ask you to partner with us, join us. We solicit your support in cash, in kind, whichever way you can support this initiative. If we all put our hands together to support CAFEi, I believe we will be helping ourselves. What better motivation than when you know you will benefit from it at the end of the day?